Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. Thought I'd jump on. I did not get a chance to jump on last night, which we played our adventure last night. We'll get into that in just a minute. But so I thought, hey, I'll jump on this afternoon, give you a little recap of the adventure that we had with a brand new group of students. Before I get into that, though, if you're brand new here to the channel, my name is Paul. I'll be your DM for a little while, aka Flint Fireforge, one of my favorite characters from the Dragonlance novels. That's why I chose that, for those that may be interested. And today, like I said, we're going to talk about this particular adventure that I started with a new group of students. My hope is to complete this kind of mini adventure for these students. These are students from what I would say my hub club is, in the sense I've been outside of my normal club that I'm at, playing these games with other groups. Now I'm playing with the group that I'm normally kind of with on a regular basis, at least 2 to 3 times a week. And so I've finally gotten to that, and hopefully I'll be able to maybe finish that up this month, and then we'll see what happens for next month. We got, if you've ever worked in a Boys and Girls Club, there are programs everywhere. We do things like healthy habits and career launch, and we're always having guests in. At least my club is. I try to have guests in that are talking about careers and things of that nature. We have Christmas parties coming up. We got all kinds of things happening this month. So Boys and Girls Club, super busy on a regular basis for the most part, because you run programs for students who are in the most need of them. So we try to serve students all over West Alabama, as other clubs do, wherever their clubs are at. So like I said, today, before I get into all the things today, I want to let you know things that are coming up. First of all, reach over here and get this. If you are not if you're looking for a Christmas present for somebody, or maybe just a gift to yourself, which is that's perfectly okay as well. We have the entire set of 9 Crit Happens zines of my world setting of Kriesh. And as you can see here, lots of other things. You got the Guardians of Kriesh. You have this edition number 1, where this is where the whole thing started. This is where the idea came from, where I said, look, I just want a simple way to have a hex crawl, and here's a system that I used, and then it later on became the foundation for how I built, the world of Kriesh, as well as using how to create a sandbox book by our friend Mr. Connolly. And anyway, so we have Rob Connolly, by the way, if you're not familiar, Rob Connolly, who has also great resources. We have the Corrupt Dead, different kinds of dead. You have the Cult of Kriesh. You have Land of the Gods. You have the Survivors, which is kind of an apocalyptic type thing, which is what Kriesh kind of was for a long time. It's kind of on the back end of that now, but there's still nonsense and craziness where there's still survivors out there. Things are happening. You got the Dragons of Kriesh. You have the Hex Crawl of Horror, the clans of Kel and Kale in the mountainous regions. And then you have the Village of Skyreach, a full village there of all kinds of locations, NPCs. And so if you're looking for that, there'll be a link down in the description. If you're interested, and I hope that you are, because I think it will provide hours and hours of fun for you and your players. If you have it, by the way, feel free to leave a review. Like I said, I'll put all the links down there. Maybe I'll just drop that link right here now in the chat if you're interested. Just go ahead and copy this, put it in there, and then you have it should you want to go ahead and purchase it for yourself. As I said, I hope that you do. Makes a wonderful Christmas present for someone. All right, so things that are coming up. I am going to be, I talked about a while back, not a while back, 2 weeks maybe, about Ed Greenwood coming out with some new books for the Dalelands. And I have here the Dalelands by Richard Baker III. And I'm going to do a little series on that, I think. I'm going to just kind of check it out for you, and we'll work through it together, little pieces and parts that I find interesting. And why it may be fun to use at your game table. And so maybe I'll do a little section of this all the way up, leading up to the first release of Ed's books that he's putting out, and then we'll kind of go from there. Then maybe I'll do some reviews of those as well. So that will be that. And the adventure. Let me talk about the adventure that I'm using for this particular. And this adventure, I only had 2 students in this, which is fine. It's fine with me. Two students, and they are a brother sister team. Which the brother sister team, normally when I see them in club environment, they are fussing at each other about whatever. But in this game, I think as brothers and sisters will do that when things get tough, they work together. And so I thought, man, that's pretty cool. Watching these guys work together was a different dynamic I get to saw of them, where they're on the same team, not having to be, opposing each other, but actually having to work with each other. And this particular adventure I chose, I wanted to do something really simple. And I'm using 5e, by the way. And I just said, you know what? Like I said, I like to keep things fresh for me. And it's been a minute since I've played or run a 5e type of adventure. And so I have one of the students is playing a Tempest domain cleric, and one is playing a fighter. They're playing second level, which will play into this. And second level works good for this particular adventure as we kind of move along here, and I'll tell you why. Um, but this particular adventure, let me show you here. This is the Ivory Idol, and this is from Elven Tower. And Elven Tower has some great resources, by the way. This is a trifold. This is a great little map here. Let me go ahead and pop my face on there, not that you need to see it. But you can see here in this particular map here, you have a great little map. And I'll show you how I drew that out. And it has some good. It just has some good little pieces and parts to it. It's not a super complicated. It's very, very easy. The question is whether these particular characters, this particular party, is going to go with a velvet glove or an iron fist or a iron fist, right? A velvet glove or an iron fist. And so this particular adventure, like I said, is a trifold. Has some great, once again, this is what I hope to attain to. Sadly, I have word vomit problems, and I tend to want to use too many words. And so I am trying to scale down the best way I know how. And this is like the achievable thing. This is like the goal. Because they just put very simple things for the DM to be able to use, and I'm finding that your players can build that out, and you can build that out right as you go. You don't need everything set for you. But like I said, this is just a trifold. I think this is like $1.95. So check it out. Link will be below if you're interested. But the Ivory Idol, simple premise. Go find the farmers. The farmers have been taken by and been seduced by this ivory, what do I want to say, a tablet, an ivory tablet that kind of glows orange, and they have to go to the place that was uncovered by one of the farmers who initially found the tablet, and then wound up coming to town and showing everybody, and everybody read it, looked at it, and it's like, oh, they just got mystified, mesmerized, hypnotized, and wound up, just wandering off and not going back to their farms where the town desperately needs them to do harvest. So the party is hired by this noble who is not. He's not good. I don't know if they've caught on to that. I tried to, do a very mustache twirly type of like, a little over the top. He's kind of sketchy. And I think it's called Noble Eiffel. And he is wanting to use this tablet for bad things. He wants to take. He's going to a meeting with other nobles from the area, and I think he's wanting. I don't think I know. He wants to use it on them or their children, so that one day he can, scam them out of their territories and land, which is kind of a deep political, type of deal there, storyline that you could, you know, jump off on. Should you finish this adventure and you say, well, we need to go stop the noble guy because he's doing, terrible things. So let me go ahead and I'll just keep this here. I'll get rid of this and I will show you the map. So that's the premise. That's what they're trying to do. And rather than, I did a very brief role play between the nobleman Eiffel, and the two characters. And they were able to, the young lady of the group wanted to use her charisma and thought 100 gold was not enough. Have you run into that? That there's always somebody in the party who thinks, well, that's not enough money. That's not enough money. And so they say, well, I'm going to use my charisma. All right, well, you're going to use charisma. And so as I'm teaching them, both of them have no knowledge other than what they've seen on the internet, what they've watched in videos. They have no knowledge of how to play the game. So this was their first time playing the game. And I said, well, all right, do a charisma check. And I think she rolled a 3. And so I said, nope. He says, I'm not giving you more than 100 gold. I think that's what you're worth. So for second level, that's what you're going to get, right? And there's plenty of treasure in here, by the way. It's not like they're going to go away, poor or anything. They'll be just fine. And the reason I say because I only have an hour, I think I had like 4:30 to 5:30 with these students. I don't have time for a long introduction. I don't have time for a long role play session at the beginning. Nobody's going shopping. Okay, here's the good thing. Joe the lawyer, listen to me. Not one of these students, not one, wants to go shopping. None of them have thought of shopping. No character at their base said, well, I think we should go shopping. None of them. Okay? So I want to say that is a learned behavior. It is not innate. And I'm not teaching them to go shopping either. We're not going to teach them those things because then they go shopping every game, and we can't have that. But I found that to be, a data point, if you will, that none of them want to do that. None of them want to go shopping. They're just like, no, let's go on the adventure we're going. We don't need to go to the store. I don't need to go do this or that. No, we got everything we need. And I give them their little packs of information, by the way. On their packs, they know what they have. So they assume that that's all they'll need, which is good in this regard, that if they don't have, they know next time that they need to pick up a few things, not to immediately go shopping and to try to, buy everything they could possibly need for, this adventure. So I kept it short and I put them right there. I say, here's the adventure. Here's the little bit of role play that you have with Nobleman Eiffel. And then you're there, and that's where we're at here. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that there. I'll put this back up since there's like 2 of me there. Let's see here. I don't want that one. I want this one. Okay, so here's the initial setup then. Here's where I covered. This is my reveal board here, where I'm going to reveal rather than draw. It's already drawn out, which saves me some time based on where I'm at the table. I can't go up there and just draw everything. It would have been awkward and all that stuff, and I don't want to do all that. So I just drew it out, and I'll reveal each place. And I think I did a whole video on that. I'll link it up here somewhere if you want to watch that video about hiding the map. But so I have them here, and it's just a very basic. Here's a symbology. And if you noticed in the adventure itself, this is the ivory idol is an elephant. And so these are tusks that are kind of a symbol of the idol itself. And so they don't know what this is yet. They're just, they don't know. They're not asking questions yet. They just know that they're trying to find this idol. These here represent the farmers. Now these farmers are mesmerized, and they are standing guard outside of the little area, the cave area where the temple was found, where this farmer found the temple, chasing his goats or whatever he was doing. And they all have their they brought their weapons with them. They carried with them, once they were memorized, they were ordered, I guess, by the otherworldly elephant voices, if you will. And they brought, one had an axe, one had a pitchfork, one had a butcher knife, and the other one had a scythe. And so pretty good weaponry there for these, but they are terrible. They're just normal farmers, right? There's nothing about them. They still have to hit these armor classes, which I think are 18 and 16, I think. And which is fine, because this is a game of restraint. This is the teachability of this, of what I think the teachability of it is that, listen, you have to, the goal is to return the farmers to do the harvest, right? So you can't kill all these farmers. And luckily, at this point, when they are now sneaking around, by the way, so here's the deal there. Let me go to another, so now that you see this, let me go ahead and do that. And they are sneaking around. Well, she was in there, and he tried to sneak out and rolled, I think he rolled a 1. I love it when they roll a 1, because then that's when the fun begins. So he is caught. He did not sneak out. I'll say it may not have been 1. It could have been a 3. But he goes out there, and these two obviously are approaching him and attacking him. He tries to convince them otherwise, or he tries to bluff them. And he says, I take my weapon and I just kind of do this, and I talk in their voice. And smart play. I will say this. These two students of the other ones caught on very quickly, maybe because they're brother-sister, maybe because it's just two of them, for whatever reason, adapted to the tactics of the game, adapted real quick to figure out, how am I going to accomplish the mission versus I'm just going to go run wild or whatever they're doing. So I felt like they adapted really quickly to the game's goals, if you will. Now, I will say this, that the sister that was in there, who was shooting her crossbow from the safety of the cave entrance, did shoot one of them. And the brother said, we're not supposed to shoot them. We have to bring them back. And so it wound up where he got to use his healing power. He used his healing spell. And anyway, there's lots of great little dynamics there of what they were using, what they were doing. I think he used Thunder Wave to push all these guys back once they start getting surrounded. And so it's just really smart play to try to go ahead and do, finish, accomplish the mission, which was to return. And what happened was that I didn't know really how this was going to go down, but I figured, look, if you use the spell, knock them, give them a good knock to the head, well, then the trance is going to fail. There was no, magic spell per se that was going to break everything. I could have done that, but I didn't feel like that was the way to go. Like, I didn't want them being constantly hunted through the dungeons by all these guys who could not be stopped, because it would force their hand to then maybe, choose violence, to not choose it, but force their hand to violence to stop them. So I said, okay, so they got thunder waved, and they all went back. So I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a knock to the head. Now, as they get deeper in, we'll see what happens. They're not that deep in yet. So let me go ahead and go to the next one here. And so they're in there. And they finally get in there, and they are now faced with bars. They're not magic. They're not anything. I think I have put like some kind of release switch or something in there they haven't noticed yet. It may have something to do with the ivory idol, something with a elephant-ish type thing. I don't know what that will be, but if you tell me in the comments below if if you were to put some sort of elephant or pachydermish type of switch plate, something on the wall, that kind of thing, how would you do that? How would you use that as a way for them to discover how to release the bar? Now, the sister playing the fighter is actually tying a rope around it and trying to pull the bar out, which is perfectly fine. That's use your strength. But to both reveal a clue and to open the bars, this is not written in the adventure. This is just me kind of finding a different way to do it. So either use strength or search for some kind of thing that I'm looking at, some sort of pachydermish or ivory or tusk or something like that that would be useful in that regard. So if you have ideas, leave them in the chat here or go ahead and leave them in the comments below later. So that's where we find ourselves. That's where we ended the adventure. It was a good stopping point. And they want to play. Can we play this every day? I said, no, buddy, we can't play this every day. I would run every day. That would just be my druthers, right? I mean, listen, it's a good gig. If I'm running D&D in any format, I ran Tiny Dungeons for an after-school club. I'm running Castles and Crusades at another club, and I'm running 5e at this club. Life is good. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do it, for the rest of my at least, at the clubs. My time will come to a finish there in March because I'm just filling in, right? I am, as much as I enjoy the job, as much as I think it's good, I am a slight bit on the other side. And I hate to say this, that I might be too old in the sense of what is my job role, right? Overseeing the programs and all that and being involved. If I only had one job and that was just, hey, your job is to play D&D with people, that's great. But it's about 20 other things that go into this job. It's a great job. It may not be the job for me to do going forward, simply from an age perspective. Also a distance thing. I drive like 40 minutes to the job every day, which is killing me in gas, right? So, and like I said, I'm filling in, happy to fill in. For my wife has asked me to do this, so I am doing this for her and myself, right? I'm not, it's not. It does benefit me in that way, so I'm doing it for me as well. But if I could do that, right, for this time, this season, I'm grateful for it. I've gotten some great feedback. I've gotten some great ideas for the Questers program that I've created. I've gotten some great experiences. I've taught now, let's see if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll say 6, 11, 13. So currently now I have taught 13 students how to play D&D. 13 students who had never played before, never been, around the table playing before. So, hey, I'm grateful for that. Now, if I have another opportunity to teach another group, then that's great as well. But those in a club, you only have like a minimum, you only have so many students that once you reveal to them, once you expose them to it, unless you get new students in all the time, which is not always the case, you get them from time to time. But anyway, all that to say, I've enjoyed my time that I've been running this and doing this. So it's been super exciting. But yeah, I think that's the recap, guys. I don't want to stay too long on this, but I think I wanted to give you just a little taste of this, and that's the deal. That's the wrap up here. I would say. Let me go ahead and go big screen here. The deal here is that I'm teaching students. The teaching point is restraint, right? You are second level. You are fighting farmers. So the deal is that, can you restrain yourself to the point where, listen, we're going to try to do the mission, even though I'm being attacked. And listen, that's very much a life lesson. Sometimes you shouldn't choose violence at every turn in life. Whether that's a comment on the internet, whether that's in real life, just, you're throwing trash on people. It's not my style. It's, I think restraint is a super important part of maturity, I think. That if you can't restrain yourself, well, then you still have some, some teenage deficits if you can't show restraint. Okay, I think in restraint you get further. I think with restraint than with just releasing, unleashing hell on people. But anyway, that is the video for today. Just a little recap. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part today. Be sure to go and hit the thumbs up button if you like this kind of video. And if you are not a subscriber, well, be sure to go and hit subscribe. I'll put a video over here to the list that I have of the Castles and Crusades. I think I'm going to make a separate 5e list as this adventure goes on. But if you want to go and check out the Castles and Crusades list, you can do that. There'll be some links for that. All the links down below to the adventure, to the Dalelands, to the zines. If you would like to pick those up for Christmas for yourself, they're 50% off, by the way. I don't think I even mentioned that, but they're 50% off. So you're getting normally zines that are $2 each for $1 a piece. So you're welcome to go ahead and grab that. And of course, the adventure, the Ivory Idol from Elven Tower, also a really good adventure. They have a bunch of resources. Elven Tower does. Highly recommend. Good stuff over there. So that's it for today, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part today. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good one, everybody.